This is a country on a table. 660 meters up, walled by mountains, dry at the center, pushed into Europe's far southwest corner. 5 plates, 20 figures, 1 country drawn properly. Plate 1, where Spain is. 85% of the Iberian Peninsula, 499,000 square kilometers. Second largest country in the European Union, but not in one place. The Balearics, the Canaries, and 2 cities on the African mainland. Spain isn't just in Europe, it's where Europe stops. 5 land neighbours, 1,920 kilometers. Portugal is by far the longest, on a line fixed in 1297. France runs the crest of the Pyrenees, then Andorra and 18 kilometers of Morocco, and Gibraltar, 1,200 meters, the shortest and disputed. Spain claims Gibraltar. Morocco claims Ceuta and Melilla. Neither claim is moving. Nearly 5,000 kilometers of coast, 2 different oceans, Atlantic north and west, Mediterranean east and south. Between them, the Strait of Gibraltar, 14 kilometers wide. A third of the world's shipping goes through it. Spain sits on both sides. Not just a coastline, a toll gate. NATO since 1982. The European Community since '86. Every land neighbor in Europe is an EU partner. The north is as stable as borders get. The southern flank is a different world. 1 country on the seam between 2 continents. Plate 2, what Spain is made of. Average elevation, 660 meters. Highest in Europe after Switzerland. 1 raised tableland, the Meseta, covers 45% of it. Highest point, Tade, 3,715 meters. Not a country on a plain. A country on a table, ringed by walls. 3 climates. Most of Spain is Mediterranean. Hot, dry summers, mild, wet winters. The north is oceanic. Green Spain, where it rains all year. The southeast is semi-arid. Tabernas is the only true desert in continental Europe. Madrid, 6 degrees in January, 26 in July. Galicia takes 1,500 millimeters of rain. Cabo de Gata, under 200. The tableland tilts west, so almost every river runs away from the middle. The Tagus, the Douro, the Guadiana, the Guadalquivir, all out through Portugal or the Atlantic. 1 breaks the pattern, the Ebro running east and staying inside Spain. Water is scarce, so Spain built for it. 1,200 large dams, more than any other EU country. 37% forest, about half farmed. Atlantic forest in the north, Mediterranean woodland and dehesa, dry steppe, semi-desert. More life than anywhere else in the European Union. The Iberian lynx was the most endangered cat on the planet, under 100 in 2002. Today, over 2,000. Spain was once a mining superpower. Almudena held the largest mercury deposit on Earth. At Rio Tinto, copper for 5,000 years. But the fuel column is empty. No oil, no gas. The last coal pits closed in 2018. 70% of its energy is imported. Its single greatest weakness. So Spain stopped looking down. In 2025, renewables made 55.5% of its electricity. Wind alone beat nuclear, solar, and gas. Spain's real resource was never under the ground. It's the sun and the wind above it. Plate 3, who lives there? 49.8 million people, growing about 1% a year. But look at why. Births 6.5 per thousand, deaths 8.9. More Spaniards die each year than are born. Fertility 1.1. Life expectancy 83.9, among the highest on Earth. Spain lives long, has few children, and grows anyway. Every person of that growth arrives from somewhere else. Spain records no ethnicity, so read it by language, nationality, and origin. In early 2026, it passed 10 million foreign-born residents, a fifth of everyone here, led by Morocco, Romania, and Colombia. But Spain was plural long before that. Castilian everywhere. Catalan for 9 million, Galician for 2.4 million, and Basque, related to no other language on earth. Not a multi-ethnic state so much as a plurinational one. 54% call themselves Catholic, only 18% practice. 97 people per square kilometer, below the EU average, but almost nobody lives at the average. Madrid province runs 870, Soria runs 8.6, emptier than Lapland. Half of all Spanish municipalities are at risk of depopulation. There's a name for it, La España vaciada. The people are on the rim and in the capital. The middle is nearly empty. 80% live in a city, up from 75 in 1990. Madrid, about 7 million across its metro area. Barcelona, nearly 6. And notice where the capital is. No real river, no port, no coast. It sits in the exact geometric center because a king put it there in 1561. Plate 4, what Spain does for a living. Developed high income, $1.73 trillion, 15th largest in the world, 4th in the Eurozone, and in 2024, it grew 3.2%, the fastest of any major advanced economy on Earth. Industry, 19% of the economy, a fifth of all jobs. The flagship is cars. Europe's second largest vehicle producer after Germany, 2.4 million a year, and almost none of it Spanish-owned. Volkswagen, Stellantis, Renault, Ford, Mercedes. Then food processing, the largest branch of all. Chemicals, steel, aerospace, and in Inditex, the owner of Zara. Spain's industrial advantage was never coal. It was cost, ports, and a road into Europe. Under 3% of GDP, and it feeds a continent. Roughly 60-40, crops to livestock. The largest olive oil producer in the world by a distance. 1.42 million tons last season. 40% of all the olive oil on Earth. When Spain's harvest fails, the global price moves. The largest area under vine of any country. More pigs than people. And in Almería, a sea of plastic greenhouses you can pick out from orbit. Services, 69% of the economy, 3/4 of all employment. The giant is tourism, 96.8 million international tourists in 2025. A record, second only to France, on the entire planet. Almost 2 visitors a year for every person who lives here. Then finance, and the longest high-speed rail network in Europe, second in the world only to China. Spain's biggest export never leaves the country. People come to it. Plate 5, Spain and everyone else. $445 billion of goods sold abroad in 2025. Vehicles first, then food, then machinery, chemicals, and clothing. Spain sells what it builds and what it grows. And it bought $513 billion. At the top of that list, every single year, is energy. The country with no fuel of its own has to buy the thing it uses most, which leaves a gap, a goods deficit of $68 billion. Look at who is on each side of that trade. Spain sells to its neighbors. France takes 14.5%, then Germany, Portugal, Italy. But it buys from much further away. China is its largest single source of imports. Spain sells next door and buys from the far side of the world. And that $68 billion hole gets filled by tourists. Spain runs a goods deficit and pays for it with sunshine. So, a high, dry, walled peninsula in the corner of Europe. Almost no fuel, never enough rain, its middle emptying, its people getting older. And it turned all of that into the 4th largest economy in the Eurozone. By selling the one thing it could never ship, the place itself. Which country should we chart next? Tell us below and subscribe for the rest of the atlas.